right, real quick, let me just do a little journal document, whatever. Hold up. Okay, so I soft launched, beta launched the community, the marketing mastery community, getting some feedback from people checking it out. Pretty good feedback so far. A lot of good information. A couple things I want to update, a couple things I want to move around a little bit before I really put it out and start pushing it. I am also back focused on kind of like my content system. I feel like my bartending schedule, I've gotten that cleared out so that I can have like a consistent system where I'm waking up the same time every day, getting to work, creating content, and then mixing that in with the different things that I'm doing to get clients as far as like networking, engaging on different platforms, hopping into different conversations, and then starting to do some cold outreach as well. So those are kind of like the biggest priorities right now, getting those into place, making sure that's all set up. I've started getting first round edits done on my content. So inside my Notion is my content control center. That's where I have just like all my content ideas and like everything when it comes to and pertains to my content. I have scripts, walkthrough scripts, ideas for YouTube's already like started, listed out. I either use those as like an on-screen visual to go with whatever I'm talking about, or I'll create something in like Miro and use that as like a visual, either with like a workflow or some type of chart or system or something, just to give it like a visual element to go with it. I have my content pillars. I have different content ideas, things that I want to save or research, check out later. But I also have my tracker and my pipeline, which is like kind of like my main hub where I like kind of just keep everything organized for the content I'm working on. So I'll get an idea fleshed out, usually try and get at least one done a day, get something fleshed out, then use that to repurpose and create the rest of my content as far as like emails, ideas for YouTube videos, ideas for short form videos, carousels, things like that. I'll get those all created, put together, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start batching and getting those produced little by little, working on each different piece, kind of producing and putting it together how I want it to go. But yeah, so those are kind of like the main focuses right now. I'm just kind of like locking in with like really good daily schedule, daily routine, a good system where I'm eating right, working out, just staying consistent and just keeping going. Definitely the biggest priorities right now. I was listening to this video this morning. It was talking about how important momentum is and how hard it is to get started, how hard it is to get something out of being still, how hard it is to get something into motion, but then also how hard that momentum will hit you when you get off track, when you start doing the wrong stuff, when you start slacking off. Now, if you ever like been on a diet or you try to like stop doing something, stop drinking, you always get that, okay, I'm good for a couple of days, I'm good for a week, whatever, however long you make it. But then when you fall off, that fall off tends to hit or be a lot harder than it was before. And what I've realized is that life is like a pendulum. Everything swings back and forth, right? So if you push yourself really hard this way, you waking up every day in the morning, you going hard. As soon as you decide to let that shit fall back, if you aren't like mentally ready, if you aren't like prepared to like, okay, I'm gonna stop it right here. So even when I fall back, I don't fall back all the way over here. If you aren't ready for that, the more you push yourself, and that's why a lot of people, coaches, gurus, like whatever, they'll tell you not to dive in head first, not to go all in, because you're going to end up burning yourself out. You're going to wear yourself out. And then when that swing back comes, you can't control it. You end up binge eating, not focus on what you're supposed to be doing, like you not exercising, whatever it is, you kind of just like, you fall off, and that fall off tends to be a lot harder. And that's something I've been working on and trying to get better at, just not so much pushing and trying to force myself to be this super regimen, super disciplined. Oh, I'm only doing this, because it doesn't leave you room for error. It doesn't leave you room to be human. Now it's more so still trying to lock in and getting the habits in place that are going to keep me disciplined, even when I don't feel like it or even when I don't want to do it. Getting those habits in place, but then also giving myself permission to, okay, today was rough, or I didn't eat right today. Okay, it's not the end of the world. I don't need to beat myself up. Let me just get back onto it. Let me get back to it. Oh, I had 2 days where I was off and I didn't do as bad as I used to. Before I would go like crazy, go out, whatever. This time I just had a little bit of a backtrack. So now, okay, let me just keep pushing. And I think the more you do that, it's kind of like, if you know about investing, like higher highs and higher lows, like you just keep raising the bar on yourself. And yes, you might fall back down, But as long as you keep raising that bar, you will never fall back to where you started from, right? So I watched a video about that this morning, and the universe has a way of sending you videos that you need at the perfect time. That's why if you look on YouTube, you'll see a lot of those videos where if this is coming across your feed, you don't want to miss it, or this is your sign to wake up because the universe is sending something. That's why those work, because people really believe in that. People really are working on manifesting and growing, and there are people who are trying to capitalize off that, for better or worse. That's a matter of perspective and opinion, but it does work. It's very helpful, especially with a certain type of audience and demographic. But yeah, I was just watching that video this morning, and it really kind of spoke to where I am, what I'm doing right now, kind of reset me and pushed me back to lock-in mode, and just kind of being accountable and taking realization, like, I am where I am because of the actions I take or don't take, the moves I make or don't make. I'm not like doing bad. It's not like I'm bad off, but I'm not where I want to be with my business, with my brand, with my goals, with my weight. Like, I'm just not where I want to be exactly. So have to be accountable and realize that is due to my actions and reactions to what life has given me. So, just kind of meditating on that a little bit, focusing on that, but also getting back, getting locked in, getting shit in place, and just foot on the gas, keep your foot on the gas, and not letting those off days be as effective as they were. So yeah, we'll see what happens next, where this goes. But yeah, just wanted to do a quick update. All right, I'm pretty happy with what life is doing right now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna keep you. I've been back in the gym. I feel like I've been eating better, less eating out, less spending, and I've started writing my book. So I got a couple different projects going on. I don't know, but yeah, back in line with my content strategy, also like my outreach strategy, and just kind of like my system for growing my brand. And I think that's what probably like the past year or so has just been me getting clear and focused on, is what am I building and how am I getting there? What steps am I taking? What projects do I need to get done? What do I need to put in place? What systems do I need to have in place? What process do I need to have in place? What products, what do I need to have in place to build the business that I want to build? And now that I've got it where I want it, it gives me the opportunity to focus more on the content and the brand building, which I had to put on the back burner so that I can get the foundation and the systems in place. And I think that was something hard to kind of accept, because it felt like I should have been moving faster, or should have been doing more, but I knew what I wanted to do. And with that, I found out where my weaknesses were with my businesses, with my content, with my focus. Like, it forced me to face the flaws that I had and things that I had to figure out, so that I can get to where I wanted to be with my brand and with my content, both in myself and in my business. So I think I was able to address a lot of that, any like holes and gaps. I think I was able to get those fixed. So now when I focus on the content and when I focus on being strategic with it, or just putting it out and building up an audience and building up a brand, I know what I'm doing with it and I know where it's going. I'm not just kind of like throwing stuff out aimlessly, because that works up until a certain point. But if you continue to do that, you just keep pulling yourself in different directions. Yes, you can like make money doing different things. You can do all these different side hustles. You can do all these different services. But until you have something you can streamline, something you can put a system and process and have like a repeatable system and process for, you're putting more stress on yourself than you need to. You are expending way more time, energy, and effort without getting the result that you're looking for. So now what's interesting is, because as you're doing it, you find new tools, you find new systems, you get new tech, you find a new software, you see a different content idea. So you kind of make these adjustments on the fly as you go. And as you get more clear on what you're trying to build, where you're trying to go, you figure out different ways to interweave them into your content and figure out how to use them for yourself. Whether that's a system you found, a product you found, a template, you find these different things that you kind of weave into your digital ecosystem, right? That becomes the foundation for you building the rest, building out your brand and being able to scale up. You might be stuck at $1,000 a month, $500 a month, like making money here and there. You might get a $5,000 client tomorrow and then not get another client for 6 months. If you have a repeatable and scalable process, both in your products, your services, and your method for getting clients, there should be no reason you can't scale to whatever you want. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to build the brand or build the system that you want, to create the content that you want, to build the business that you want. As long as you have the foundation and the systems in place. When you don't, you just end up with a very expensive job that you're just kind of stuck in, because you either don't want to be seen as a quitter or a failure. Sunk cost fallacy is when people continue investing time, money, and effort into something just because they already put a lot into it, right? Because you've already spent years building this brand, you've already spent money building this brand, you don't want to give it up. You don't want to throw it away because you'll feel like you lost all that. You start to feel like you lost that entire investment, right? So that's where a lot of people end up.